Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Coffee in Hand. I'm your host, Erica Lamberto. And today, sitting across from me is Morgan Mielnicki. She is the Director of Marketing and Social Media for Sentinel Media Group. Morgan, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me for episode 2.
Yes, of course.
Um let's Where do we want to start?
So, I want to start by getting into your experience and how you got your start in the industry.
Okay, perfect. I know we were chatting about a couple of things, so I was like, where do we want to even start this conversation? So yeah, I am, as you mentioned, the director of social media marketing for Sentinel Media Company. Just recently, the Sentinel basically created a sister company, we like to call it, called Impact X, and the two sister companies basically work hand in hand for not only our print product, which is the Daily Sentinel newspaper, which a lot of people are familiar with, previously the Rome Sentinel. But we've also moved in a direction with our new Impact X brand of doing more digital marketing. So, a lot of social media management for local small businesses. I basically got into this space because I was hired at the Sentinel a few years ago to run their social media. They just didn't have someone dedicated to running social media for the company. And obviously, as a news organization, social media, as we know, is so important. Um, so basically taking that on, we started getting businesses locally that wanted to advertise with us, and whether that was through print or on our digital platforms or whatever that looked like, they didn't have as strong of a social media presence, and we found that gap and basically jumped on it. And here we are. So now I have a team of 4, and basically my day to day is running social media platforms for local small businesses.
Which is amazing. I think that's great for you to step in and kinda help them with that need because it is a challenging platform, and with there being so many different social media channels
For
now,
sure. Yeah.
it can be hard to navigate. It's definitely very intimidating for people who haven't worked in that before.
Absolutely. Obviously, you guys know, as we're in the marketing space and also are a business owner. Of course, how important social media is. It really is a search engine now. So not as many people are going to Google to search coffee near me. They're going on TikTok to search
Mhm.
coffee near me, coffee in Utica, coffee in New Hartford, and more people are finding just day in the lives of come with me to Calabria and get my coffee and blah 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 for the rest of the day. And so how do we capitalize on that? How do I help these local businesses with whatever their product is? And we have a lot of local small businesses that just one don't have the means to whether it's capacity or expertise or the time or whatever that looks like, and they're basically like, yeah, sure. What can you do to help me? And I know you guys are super you're consistent on social media, but that's the biggest thing, just consistency. Are you putting your product out there? And that's what we help small businesses do every day.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And what do you feel like has been the most rewarding aspect, or have you had kind of a one of your clients share like a transformation that they saw, in their business from, you
Yeah.
know, being able to get that support and assistance from you?
Absolutely. So we, as I mentioned, I work with a lot of small businesses, but I'm lucky enough that a lot of them are women-owned small businesses, and whether it's a solopreneur, so it's someone that's like a realtor working for themselves, obviously making their own commission, or it's oh gosh, I don't even. We have so many, but a lot of people that are running their own businesses. So how do they get out in front of the camera? How do they start to be comfortable on social media? Um, it's so important for your face to be out there because 'cause you're
Mhm.
creating this relationship, via the screen, whether you know it
Right.
or not. So I guess, days that make me feel, like, so excited and important knowing that the work is so important. I mean, honestly, I'm getting a lot of, people that I'm working with are just more comfortable in front of the camera or, are just getting literally text messages of, like, little success. And honestly, I have a great team that I work with, and we don't really advertise. A lot of our stuff is, "Hey, I know you're working with Morgan and her team," or, "I know
Mhm.
you're working with Impact X or the girls at the Sentinel, like, can we chat with you?" And that's how my success has kind of been, measured almost, just not having to really, like, go out and advertise. It's just people that enjoy working with me, my team, the way we work, obviously our expertise or whatever that looks like. So I don't know that there's a single moment necessarily, but we've had a lot of great success and just I think seeing my clients get more comfortable in front of the camera or just more comfortable with their product that they're selling is pretty much why I do what I do.
Well, and I feel like too, like you were saying about not advertising, that being able to grow organically and through word of mouth is the best way to go.
Yeah, it's the most
It's
organic.
yes,
Yeah.
and I feel like over time, it just naturally, like, builds your client base and, you know, for us, we grew our business organically through word of mouth. We intentionally didn't do any advertising the first 4 years we were open.
And it's working for you.
We just wanted we just wanted to see, you know, how that would go just, by people just talking about it and, just trying to give everyone the best experience coming in here, and it's like, with you, you're working with, these individual businesses and people, and you're just trying to, like, build those relationships and, like, help build their online presence, and then through that, they're having a great experience and going and telling other people about it, and I think that's fantastic. And to highlight something, I saw that you recently received an award.
Yeah, thank
Can
you.
you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So, yes, I was nominated by Carrie Palayo. She's the executive director at the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce. And she was also my co-creator for Experience Leadership, which was a half-day women's summit that the two of us hosted in March, which is International Women's History Month. And so basically, it was an award for inspiring and empowering women in our communities and so I was super honored that she nominated me. But yes, so myself and four others received the award this past week at the Onondagas. And I kind of gave my little remark kind of about the same topic that we're chatting about right here and just about the summit and how important it is to empower women and just how much inspiration others can bring to you and the importance of connections and especially here locally. I mean, you have connections made every day here at Calabria. So, yeah, thank you.
Well, and I think too, it's so important to, like, empower other women and build them up. I feel like, especially in our society, it just feels like so many people are so easy to tear others down, especially online. And I feel like being a small business owner, if you can help support other small business owners or, like, shine a spotlight on them, or, help build people up or empower them through, like, partnership and, like you said, connection, it's having a positive impact like that,
Mhm.
and even if it's just small, it's just, like, one person, right? Like, just one interaction, but that can have such a big effect on a community because it's like a domino effect, right? And I think it's such a key thing that so many people miss out on or they don't realize is, something that's so important for us to, connect
For
and
sure.
work together as a community and support one another.
I have so many points just like listening to now of like absolutely um going off of the experience leadership summit that I just mentioned. um it's telling that it sold out in 6 days. 330 women. We had a waiting list of 100.
Which is
um
incredible.
and
I
but
That's
that's exactly
amazing.
where you can tell that the space is needed for that connection and that empowerment of women. I mean, I know that just like obviously I've known you just from a coffee shop, but like the relationships that I know that you're going out of your way to make, and your employees, it's you're creating those relationships and whether it's, oh, I already know what your coffee order is, like waiting at the counter, like that in itself like shows like such a nice, like, you know what I mean? It's like a warm welcome, and I think even knowing that I also have a small business, and I know we're gonna get into it, that even you welcome small businesses to table here. Like, I know that's, like, such a minimal thing for everyone else, but, like, being able to have it for one extra sharing of a circle or, an extra audience, like, that can go a long way for, like, something that costs you minimal.
Mhm.
And so I just, like and I've told you this a million times, but, like, it's so appreciated. But I think going back to, like, the experience leadership, We're already expanding for, this upcoming year, 2026, and we're hoping for 450 women, and I know we're gonna get it, and it's because the space is so needed to have these connections to build each other up, as you mentioned, and just last year was, like, such an it was, like, the most amazing day, like, the feeling in the room, just knowing that so many women were in the same space for to hear the same message, to have the same, connection or whatever that looked like for them.
Well, and just feeling supported in that
Absolutely.
environment, I think, you know, just speaking from me being, a small business owner or just a woman in the community, I feel like sometimes it's easy to get, caught up in everything that's going on and you feel so alone sometimes in your struggle or whatever you have going on. And so to be able to sit and just see everyone else, sharing maybe similar experiences and you're like, okay,
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
knowing you have that support. It's life changing for some people.
In whatever point of life you're in, and that's the other part, like, I know you have a kid you have kids and you're married and you own a business, okay, I don't have kids, but I'm involved in the community and all these other aspects, so it's like a different form of, like, how are we connecting? Although we still align in certain ways, it's just everyone's doing so many things, but, like, how do you still make time for that connection? Um, but yeah,
Well, and I think too, just to touch on what you said about, how we try to meet people with their drinks when they come in. And for us, every single interaction matters so much. Like
100%.
every individual, like I want everyone who comes into my shop to leave here better than they came in. I want them to leave here feeling positive, even if it's just like a small thing we can do to try to make their day or put a smile on their face. That to me is like if I made someone's day, I'm like I go home and I'm like, "Okay, this is why I'm doing this." Like every single person who comes in here, I genuinely want them to feel that.
And
And helping, working with other small businesses and doing pop-ups with them. I just know from our experience, it's so much harder than people realize to start a business, and there's so many different steps, and it's like you have to have, like, the perseverance to keep going
absolutely.
even when things feel impossible.
Mhm.
Like, you can't it's almost like, you might run into things and you're like, "Can I even do this? This is such a big risk," and I just for me to be able to support someone and be like, "I see you, I support you, I want to help you on this journey,"
Yeah.
even if it can give you, like, an introduction to new customers or new people or
You
something that
never
can
know.
help, maybe set them up for more success. I'm all about that.
It's just like and I say this all the time, and I know you'll relate to it, but someone sharing an Instagram story, it is the smallest thing,
Mm,
but you don't know whose circle they're part of. That might be like, "Oh, that drink looks great. I need to try it there. Oh, I've never heard of that. Oh, this brand just oh, I've never heard" you don't know. And then it's one click, and then you don't know who they're gonna introduce it to. It's like opening up a new circle, and it's literally free. But not everyone understands that, but, like, I think it's important to remind like, share your experience, whether it's a review, whether it's your Instagram post, whether it's a TikTok, it's like, "Come with me to collaborate," whatever that looks like. Those little free snips of your day, like, can make all the difference for a small business.
And I agree with that 100%, and I always try to, like, share and engage with those, posts or stories or whatever it may be, and it's just nice to get feedback or have people, where you see that it's a highlight of their day where they're like, "No, I'm going to add this," and, like, kinda highlight that I came in here and had a good experience,
Yeah,
and it's so, like, so much appreciated because, like you said, too, that's another way of, like, word of mouth. But,
100%.
obviously in the social realm, it just kinda helps also, like, create a domino effect where, people hear about it who might not have if they wouldn't have shared that and,
Right, absolutely, like my dad,
Yes, yes.
who now is his favorite place. But yeah, um I just lost my train of thought, but
No, you're okay. Well, I'll circle back to something that, we did say we wanted to touch on, which you have your own apparel brand. Utica
Yeah.
that you established in 2019.
Yeah.
And
It's been a minute.
yes, and I'm excited because we did a pop-up with you last year,
Yeah.
and we're gonna do another one with you this year, which I'm super excited about. I think you have fantastic stuff. I love that it supports local, it's the whole vibe. Obviously, we have
Yeah.
going here, we love to support local.
Sure.
And, kind of share with me just about what inspired you to start that and just your journey
Okay.
with your own brand.
So yes, I did start Utica apparel brand, and I guess it was 2019, now that you say that, I don't even know. Um, Obviously Christmas is my most important season. It's obviously people love their oversized sweatshirts and their beanies, and definitely a gifting item. So the holiday season is the busiest for me. So thank you again for letting me have a
Of
pop
course.
up, and I'll make sure to share the date when I remember what it is, because we decided that a while ago. But yeah, I started Utica probably. Honestly, I was in my old apartment, but I started it as, like, an accident, and I tell people, and they're like, "What do you mean it's an accident?" I literally just, like, made a sweatshirt off of, like, a Cricut and designed my own, like, Utica brand, and I was like, "Oh, this is cute," like, literally so randomly on, like, a Saturday night, wore it to a game the next day at the Odd, and I had, like, 5 people, and like, "Where did you get that?" And I was like, "I literally made it last night on my apartment floor," like, it's nothing exciting, and it's an old H&M hoodie, like, it was nothing, and like, "Well, can I get one?" And I was like, "Okay." So I literally was, like, making these crew necks literally just with a Cricut and, like, nothing exciting, like, just literally from the ground up, and I was getting Instagram messages, people asking, like, "Can I order one? Like, is this the best way to order?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was writing them down in a notebook, and my mom's like, "Morgan, you need to, like, do something with this." And I was like, "I don't want to. This is a lot of work. I don't know if I can do this." And I was, like, not expecting to make a business out of it, like, genuinely. And I literally remember telling my mom, like, "This is too much work. I don't know if I wanna do this." Um, but basically, obviously, I knew that it was so important, and anyone that knows me knows that I love the Utica community. I have so many my whole life is around Utica and bringing people here and, just being such a supporter of, like, our community in so many ways. So, yeah, I basically been building a Utica branded apparel, an accessory brand. It's anything from hoodies, sweatshirts, beanies, onesies, bibs, ornaments, mugs, literally anything you can think of, that has some sort of fun, modern Utica branding, on it. And I've just been growing it. Honestly, I probably could be doing way more with it just because it really is, like, such a fun product. I've been a little busy with my full-time job, but, I know that, like, it's been growing so much, which is phenomenal because as we were chatting about earlier, that even in the last couple of years, just a lot of negativity around the community, and we are certainly, like, on the rise, I believe, as, like, a community in general, but to have a product that people actually wanna wear, like, from a town or a city that they're from and, like, feel proud to wear that is, like, the next level of, "Okay, I'm proud to live here. I like living here," whatever it is, and I just have had I've shipped to probably, like, 35 states now of just people gifting to other states, which is, like, another it's awesome. I've
That's incredible.
it's so cool to think about, and I really need to, like, make a map of these because whether it's like, "Oh, can you ship this here for, like, a gift or a present," or it's the holidays or whatever it looks like. I've had someone, bump into someone else that was wearing, like, a hat, I think it was, in, like, Dubai. Like, I'm not even joking, like, somewhere crazy. I've shipped to I think it's 4 countries now. There's,
She's
there's
gone international,
I've
everyone.
gone international. I have, like, there's a family that lives in they're from here, and their family lives in Ukraine, and she bought them all the hats, and they all wore them home, and now every once in a while, they'll send me a picture of all of them wearing them. My kids' beanies are made from a woman-owned business in Ukraine, a woman-owned business, which is really exciting, and happy to support, obviously, everything that was going on in Ukraine. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's neat to, like, hear the stories of people that are just I mean, I was literally we were chatting about LA and California, and I was wearing one of my sweatshirts out there. This is a couple years ago, and this guy that I was cashing out, it was like an acai place, and he kept looking at my sweatshirt, and I was, like, not really, like, questioning it 'cause like, wasn't really, like, thinking about it, and he was, like eventually, when he was, like, giving me my bowl, he was like, "Are you from Utica?" And I was like, "I was wondering why you were, like, awkwardly looking at me."
You're like, "Why are you
Yeah,
staring at me
like,
like
it was just,
that?"
like I was like wondering why what he was gonna if he was gonna say something. He's like, "I'm from Albany." And, like, it gets the conversation going. "Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm from here, blah, blah." It's a nice conversation starter that, like, is not, like, hard, you know what I mean? It's just like, "Oh, Utica. Oh, I have family there," or whatever, and then it gets into, that additional conversation. But yes, so I did start Utica Cruise, like I said, kind of a literally
Accident?
like an accident. It's growing, but it's fun, and I love, like, now doing, like, a lot of modern, and fun stuff, and, like, I keep it very simplistic, so it's not anything, like, super crazy, like, the designs are a little bit, day to day. I want you to grab for the item. I don't want it to be like, "Oh my gosh, it's flashy and in your face." It's very clean and, an everyday apparel item, I guess. But yeah, so
Which is everyone's go-to, right? Then you wanna, like you're like, "Yeah,
something
it
you
just
want.
ties into
Yeah.
your day-to-day."
Absolutely. So, like, I wanna grab for the sweatshirt, not like, "Oh, that's logo's too big," or "That's, like, too aggressive for today." No, I wanna so that's what I have in mind when I'm designing. I do all the design, all the ordering, all the packaging, and my mom's my unpaid assistant.
There you go. How it is, right, with family, it's
Yeah.
like they always get I mean, our children are always here with us, and people are like, "Are you" my son lately has been deciding that he is the doorman, the
Oh,
official doorman of Calabria, so
perfect.
he just holds
VP of
open
doors.
Yep, he just holds open the doors for all of our customers walking in. He even got a tip the other day from some
Listen,
woman.
he's gonna have to, like, start carrying around like a little cup.
I know. He's like, "Excuse me." Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's you gotta start somewhere, but
Yes.
honestly, that's so funny. Yeah, so, kind of my side gig, but it's a lot of work, but I think it's, like, now that I've built it up to something, I wanna keep it going just because we are on the rise, and I know that there's a lot of opportunity, and just so many ways that I could, like, expand it. It's just finding the time.
Totally. And I was gonna say too, to touch on, like, you were saying you're in a different state and it's like it was recognized, which I think it's so cool because it's like no matter where you go, it's almost funny how those, like, little interactions like that, you think like, "Oh, I'm on the other side of the country, like, no one's gonna be from my area," or but it's so surprising though how many people you actually meet and interact with. Like, I remember when I moved out to LA, I met so many people there that were like, "Oh, I graduated from Michigan State."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh."
You just don't know.
It's
Or
just
it's, "Oh my gosh, Albany, Buffalo," whatever the conversation brings
Mhm.
you. I know I've heard of Utica or just, like, you literally never know. Like, and I think that's the coolest thing in the world, that you have some random connection because of some sort of apparel that you're wearing, and I started it. I don't know, it's wild to me still, honestly.
And are you from Utica originally? Is this where you
So
were
I
born and raised?
I grew up in Sequoia,
Okay.
and then I went to Siena, and then I came back, right after college and started my career here. So, yeah.
That's amazing. And I feel like too, it's like a full circle moment, and like you were saying, we should be proud of where you're from or
Yeah, love
where
where you
you
live.
live like, love where you live, yes. And I feel like too, I've lived in a few different states now, and I think this area is amazing. I feel like there's so much to offer. I feel like you shouldn't just write it off because you think it's like a small town or,
Yeah.
you know
I mean, it's what you make of it.
Mhm.
I have so many friends here, and it's very much of, um, you don't always have to be doing everything. Maybe it's going for a walk, but I have, like, the best of friends that I can pick for a walk. It's also very relatively cheap to live here, so which is nice. I mean, not cheap, but you know what I mean, like,
Well, the
in
cost of living,
yes,
yeah,
yeah, in
compared
proximity.
compared to LA or,
Oh, yeah,
a
it's
bigger
dirt
city.
cheap compared to LA.
Oh, LA was that was another thing I forgot to mention. So we had a whole conversation prior to, this podcast, but cost of living there.
Outright, I call it airport pricing there.
Yes.
So, like, I went my family lives there, as I mentioned, but I'll go to the grocery store and I'm like, "This is literally airport pricing." Like, I when you're in the airport, I feel like it's like, "Oh, it's free," basically, because I'm like, "It is what it is, like, I have to eat, so whatever." But California, I'm like, "You actually, like, decide to pay $7 for a bag of chocolate chips? Like, this is insane."
And gas price just everything.
Everything.
Everything is so inflated. It's painful.
Yeah, for sure. So I think, like, cost of living, we're so close to a Syracuse, which is, like, really nice to be able to, like, take a weekend trip. We're also very close in proximity, Adirondack, Boston, New York City. My sister went to school in Rhode Island. We literally it's 4 hours. Like, there's so many places that are close enough, and if not, you can jump on a plane for a long weekend. Like, there is opportunity to do all the things that you want to, and to find all the places. We have great parks. We have, like I said, we have the Adirondacks. We have Munson. We have so many things going on. We have an NHL team, a soccer team. Like, there are things going on, but you have to want to do them. I tell people when they tell me that there's nothing to do here, I'm like, "Come with me for a week. I guarantee you will never be bored."
Like, I will completely change your mind.
I got something every night of the week. Tell me what you wanna do. So I think it is, like, there is that opportunity out there. It's just finding it. And there's a community calendars, like, believe me, I will if you need something to please reach out because I'll gladly help you. But yeah, so I mean, I enjoy living here.
And I do too. Like, even I think a lot of times too, like, with moving from a bigger city to a small town, people are often like, like, "Why would you move here?" Right? But it is like, it's just nice to feel a part of a community where you do feel, it's like small but mighty, right? And I think too, it goes back to, feeling those connections, with people, and, taking the time to do like the little things like with the summit, and, being able to invite a group of women in,
Yeah.
and feeling that type of support, and being able to network. Um,
100%. So I'm as I was mentioning, to you earlier, I'm working on a recruitment and retention tool for our 3 counties. And we're doing interviews with people that are either from here or moved back here, um, moved here and stayed here, whatever that looks like. And I was and I'm asking a lot of the similar questions just to see what their answers are. And it's a lot of answers of like the small but mighty, or you get a bigger town, city feel in a smaller town. But the answer that I love the most is that you can make a difference here. Like, you can, if you want to do something here, like, you absolutely can. Just like the leadership summit, we're hoping for 500 women this year. I don't know, I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out, but I don't know if I lived in LA if I'd be able to put on a women's summit with big names and sponsorships and be able to call someone and be like, "I'm putting this on, I need a sponsorship." And they're like, "Yep." Like, that just doesn't necessarily happen, and I think our community, you can make that difference. You can go that extra mile and, like, be noticed if you want to. And I think that's awesome because whatever you wanna set your mind to, you genuinely can have it here. And I think the other thing is we are a town that you're not trying to get in touch with the CEO, bosses, you know what I mean? If you need to talk to a higher up, you probably have one point of connection and can get to that person. "Hey, I need to speak with blah, 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 blah." Like, you can figure it out. Like, it's not, like, impossible, I feel like, which is another cool thing about our area that you can it's almost like one touch point away.
right, and you're not, like, going to, like, the 3rd assistant to
Exactly.
the president or vice president
Yeah.
to even see if you can initiate a conversation, or, you know, feel like that's within reach.
My first job, and I don't even know if we touched on this earlier, but, I started at the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties, and I had applied for a job there knowing I probably wasn't qualified because, when you get out of college and everyone's expecting 4 years, and I'm like, "How does this make
Well, and
sense?"
also, don't you feel like when you get out of college, you don't know how to apply for jobs, and you're like, "Oh, executive vice president."
Yes,
Oh,
sign me up.
you're like, "I submit resume."
Yeah, you're desperate also.
Like, I will take any job, it doesn't
Anything.
matter. And you're like, then you, like, learn after, like, a minute, you're like, "Oh, wait, I have to actually have certain
Yeah.
qualifications." It's just not like your college degree is a golden ticket to get any job you want.
No, for sure. So which, I feel like this is not the type of thing that you'd be able to do necessarily in LA, so I think this is a perfect example. I walked up to the CEO of the community foundation, didn't know her. I introduced myself to her, I walked right up to her at a Comets game, and I was like, "Hello, I'm Morgan Mielnicki." And I told her that I had applied for your job, and I was like, "Hey, if that one doesn't work out, if there's any other ones," basically what I said, not like this, but you know what I mean, in a professional manner. And she was like, "Can you give me a call tomorrow? I'll give you my number." And I was like, "Okay." So I literally gave her a call, went for an interview, no idea what I was interviewing for, and I took a job there because of that interaction that I just walked up to a CEO. And to this day, she's like my second mom. And I joke that I just walked up to her at a Comets game. And like, that's literally exactly how our community kind of is with fields, especially, like, connections and jobs and whatever that looks like. Like, I'm getting people all the time like, "Hey, I'm looking for a job in this space." And I'm like, "Perfect, send me your resume because I'm gonna send it to these 5 people that I know that are looking." Like, it's awesome that we have the accessibility and the ability to, like, make those connections and be the community note passer, as I like to say, because our community is small but mighty, like you were saying. But yeah.
So to touch on, just to get off like work and career, what is your favorite thing to do when you are not working?
Oh my goodness.
I know that's a very
Yeah.
broad
Okay.
question.
Oh gosh. What do I like to do?
Or how do you
Um,
feel like you find balance? Because obviously
yeah.
you have your own brand
Yeah.
that you've built, and obviously, like you said, you are a one like woman show. You're doing everything
Yeah.
yourself, and it takes a lot of time, hard work, dedication to be able to do
Yeah.
that. But you also are helping all these other small businesses help grow their online presence.
For sure.
And that's not even including like also what you're
Forget about your own social
yes,
media.
yes, where you're managing Sentinel,
So
there's
many.
social media, there's so many things.
So
And I'm
many.
sure with all of the news stories and that's a lot to cover.
Yeah.
So how do you find balance or what helps you
Yeah.
kind of feel like you can take a step back from, you know,
Day to
work?
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
day-to-day work.
Um, so I do yeah, I mean, I have so many answers. I'm lucky to have a lot of friends here, so whatever it looks like, if it's a walk, if it's you wanna get coffee, it's coffee and a walk. Do you wanna get a drink? Um, go to a networking event, whatever that looks like. Um, I enjoy being out with people. I also enjoy my free time and my space. I live alone, so it's nice to be able to just, like, literally enjoy my mortgage, I guess you could say. But going for walks, I try to go for a walk every single day. I think it's, like, the most relaxing part of my day. I do Pilates, and then I have a lot of friends that and family that don't live around here, so I try to, take a trip usually once a month, sometimes if I'm lucky, twice a month, and whether it's driving or flying, just going to see, my friends, New York City, Boston, California, Florida, whatever it looks like for long weekends or longer than a long weekend, but getting away, because I also love to come home. I always say that, I'm like, "I love to go away, but my favorite part is going away is coming home." But I think those are, like, my little patches of pockets of peace, I guess you could say, um, to get away. I mean, I love an outlet shopping trip.
Yes,
Does
yes.
that count? Going to
Yes.
TJ Maxx? But yeah, probably walks, Pilates, friends of whatever fashion that looks like, whether it's dressing up and going out for dinner or just grabbing a coffee and catching up quickly. So yeah, I've quite a few, I guess.
Yes, I feel like those are all great things.
Yeah,
I feel like it's important to, set aside time. I I love walking as well. That's like my one thing. I most of the time I'm like I have like 20 minutes, right? Where I'm like, all right, I'm taking this 20 minutes. Usually I'm like home with my kids. So I'm
yeah,
like, I have a treadmill in my basement. I'm like, I'm going downstairs,
for you, yeah.
gonna take a time out, just like walk, clear my head. And it's like
Relaxing.
just that like little like reset like, just to get yourself in a more, like, positive headspace, right? It
Yeah.
just helps kinda clear your mind. Um
And I tell people, I'm like, even if you like, I like to walk, like, whether it's an hour, 3 miles, or whatever that looks like daily. I'm like, sometimes I'll just go literally for 1 mile. I'm like, and if
Mhm.
that's all I can get in today, I'm glad I got it in. But, like, just taking that, like, slice of time for myself, I think is, like, the most relaxing, like I said, part of my day.
Well, I think too, like, spending time with family and friends too, like, for me, I have 2 children, my husband, but I love, like, when my family's able to come visit and to be able to spend that, like, quality time with them and,
Oh, for
quality
sure.
time with friends and, your inner circle. It just also helps you
Yeah,
kinda, like, reset and,
absolutely.
rebuild.
My sister and I, my sisters. So I have 2 sisters, one's here and one's in Albany, but we have been trying to do more like, um, kind of like, the idea of leadership, but almost like, bring a friend kind of event. So, like, we hosted in the summer, I think we had like 30 a couple like 32, 33 girls, but we, like, basically invited our core group of friends, and then we told, like, our friends of friends, like, basically bring a friend, and we did, build your own, like, trucker hat with, like, different patches. We had, like Melissa Lennon is one of our best friends from, Lennon's WB Wilcox. She did, like, make your own charm necklace, and then we did, like, a flower bar with hydrangeas. My sister has a pizza oven, so we did, like, homemade pizzas, and people, like the girls that came, like, just had the best time because it was all people that wanted to make new friends, wanted to get out. We did, like, a Thursday night, and it was, like, 6 to 8. So, it was like, "Come for an hour, come for 2 hours," whatever. But I would love to, like, get more in that space and, like, have those
Like,
event
yeah,
like,
event, like
mini, like
team building, but also like outreach.
yeah, like, girls' night. It was very relaxing, like, "Listen, you wanna make a hat? Cool. You just wanna have some pizza and chat? Also cool." Whatever, like, that brings to you. And I think, like, that space is so comforting. I don't know what that, like, looks for, like, in the future because obviously, like, my sister and I just, like, we're inviting, like, basically, like, our large circle of friends. But I think, like, building on that and maybe it's something we do in Calabria,
I was gonna
honestly.
say Calabria Coffee after hours girls'
Yeah.
night.
No, honestly, like, that's kind of, like, the space that I would love to get into because I think so many people are looking like, I'm 30 I'm like, "How old am I?" I'm 32, and, like, making new friends is hard,
It
just in
is.
general. So, like
Adulting is hard in general, but yes,
absolutely.
making friends, I think when you have, a full-time job and it's not once you get kind of into your, like I don't wanna generalize, but, like, mid to late 30s, it's not like you're always, like,
Yeah,
going out on the town. It's
absolutely.
like, you're like you work a long day and you're like, "I can't wait to go home."
And put on my pajamas.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
watch a Hallmark movie. Like
So, I'm hoping that we do more of, like, that space and, like, we thoroughly enjoy that and, like, bringing people together and whatever that space looks so, like, I might need to pick your brain on using
yes.
this space, but I think that, like, moving into that general direction would be really cool to, like, because it's, like, almost like using your creative part of your
Yeah.
brain to, like
And I love that idea, and I feel like too, it's like a way to obviously, like, meet new people, connect, and it could be networking as well, because if there's other people, like or you're just interested in
yeah,
getting someone's advice on starting your career or whatever it
whatever
may
it is.
be,
Yeah,
that is the type of environment where that could happen.
absolutely. So, we'll see. Now we need to brainstorm on
Yes, I'm
that.
like, I love this idea. And to circle back, because I know you said that you help, obviously other local businesses who are looking to grow their online presence. If there was a business or an
Yeah,
individual who was looking for that support, how would they get in touch with
for
you?
sure.
If they were interested in getting some assistance.
So the biggest thing I think, and the most important, one, I have a team that's young and understands like not only the algorithms, but the trending TikToks, the fun of the social media world in general. I think that's kind of our niche. I have, like I said, a great team, but also I when I basically took over the Impact X brand, and I really do run the Impact X brand for the social media aspect. Like my boss is my boss, but I run it and he knows that. So this is not I'm not like spilling any beans. But it was so important to me to have to be able to work with small businesses that were small, just starting, not having to totally break their budget to do social media, to do some sort of marketing and whatever that looks like. So I think that's the most important part. Even if you are a brand new business and you're like, I don't think I can afford it, it's not even worth chatting.
Well, and I
I will
will
chat with you all day long.
just to touch on that, I will say when just anytime if you're a business owner, you have a lot of people who come in who are like, I would love
Yeah,
to work with you.
of
But
course.
it's like, of course, like most people, what they encounter is they're given this pricing. And it's like you're just starting out and you're like, you just aren't in that position. It's like, that sounds great. You want to get your name out there, but also you have a budget and it's really important to stick with that, especially when you're starting out and you don't know,
Yeah, and sometimes you
everything's
don't
a
have a
risk.
budget.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so I think that's, like, the most important part, like, a lot of people put marketing on the back burner when they're starting or when they're growing or whatever it looks like, and, like, I've done this before, but I'm like, "Let's even have a conversation." Even if I'm like, "You know what? I'll come do a content shoot for you, and I just wanna show you what I can do for you, and if it's not now, call me in 6 months, call me in a year. I just wanna show you the content I'll do for you." But yeah, I mean, so I just wanna put that out there because I do think, like, there are a lot of marketing companies and agencies, and I'm sure people in general that, just you could spend thousands a month. It's crazy. Um, but I will, even if it's let's have a chat, let's have a connection, I'm always willing to even have a conversation with literally anyone that's like, "Hey, I need to brainstorm," or "I'm looking to get into this space," or I had someone reach out on TikTok today and she was like, "I see you're on social media in Utica. Like, can we chat?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." Whatever that looks like. Is it, "Do you need a job? Like, can I connect you with someone? Like, do you wanna grow your personal brand? How can I help you?" Um so really, like I said, I wanna be a connector. Morgan at rnymedia.com is the
And I'll
best.
put that in the notes too.
Yeah,
I
is
can
the
put that
best
in the show
way
notes.
to reach out to me. Honestly, any of my social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, however you wanna email me, whatever that looks like, would be obviously totally open to chat and whatever that looks like.
And I obviously we talked about Cruise, so I wanna have you plug that as well. Where can people shop? Where can they find
For
you
sure.
online?
Yeah,
All the
so
good stuff.
well, you will be able to find me at Calabria in the month of December. But Uticruise Apparel Company on Facebook, and then at Uticruise on Instagram. And most of my stuff is in the Old Wicker Mill year round. But I do have Uticruise. You can literally search it on any of my platforms, and then there's a website that you can shop online. But I would encourage you to follow me on social media because obviously people like to look, feel, touch, all the things, and the holiday season is coming, so I will be at a bunch of pop-ups, and would love to obviously, I'll be sharing them, so please feel free to stop by.
And we'll have to just get, purchase some of your apparel and have all the girls model it behind the bar.
I have a photographer on staff, we can absolutely make this work.
We'll do a little photo shoot.
Listen, I consider it done.
The pop-up. We'll just get it going.
For sure, for sure.
And then the one question I'm gonna ask all my guests before I wrap up is, what is your go-to coffee drink?
I've been ready for this question. I so since it's pumpkin season, I do, like, dabble in the pumpkin, but it's only, like, just a touch of pumpkin syrup, but all year round, normally, cold brew, sugar-free vanilla with a little bit of cream. I'm pretty, like, set in what I like. But, yeah, I'll dabble in the pumpkin and then back to sugar-free vanilla, and it's always iced.
Oh,
N
always.
never
Doesn't
no.
matter what time of year it
It
is.
could be bitter out. Nope, it's gonna always be iced. Extra ice, actually.
I'm the same way. I'm like, it doesn't matter what time of year it is. I'm ice iced coffee all year round.
I'm like, I don't know how people do it black. I genuinely, I'm like, I give you all the credit, but I need a little bit of sugar to, like, spike my day, but yeah.
Yes.
What's yours?
Oh boy. I feel like so mine is gonna sound very complicated and ridiculous. So I do a
You can though, because you own it, so,
yes.
like
Well, I do an iced latte
okay.
and I do large with extra ice as well.
Love it.
And I do a half calf. And then I usually do coconut sugar
Okay.
that I add in.
Interesting.
And then I do half non-fat, half and half. It's so
So you
specific.
bougie.
It's so specific and ridiculous.
Oh, and also, if I get, like, the smaller size, I'll always ask the girls because they're behind the counter. I'm like, "Can I have a small straw?" I don't know why, but I'm like, if the straw is too long. This is very
That's
particular.
why we literally cut straws shorter for the regular size drink.
Okay, I'm a cut straw girl then.
Yes.
I'm
And
like,
I will always ask someone if they're going to grab, like, a larger straw. I'll be like, "But wait."
"There's more."
It's like, "But wait. Would you like a smaller straw?"
I don't know, it's like the proportions sometimes.
You gotta have it right.
Yeah.
And those little details matter.
I feel like the girls are, like, starting to I'm like, "And short straw, please?" And, like, literally they're already reaching for it. I'm like,
Yes.
"Perfect." Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, and thank you everyone for listening, and you'll catch us next month.